competitive genocidal operations are highly rational, and it's entirely that crypto and Bitcoin were given to you that are ambitious to destroy yourself with becoming a carbon signature problem. People will do things when they feel they have money. They become aggressive and irrational, and that's why money's the perception of inanimate object value is the scourge on humanity. The perception of the ego and human invention being greater than creation, what's necessitated for a good creation. Now, invention, when, like Haile Selassie said, what you attain from learning, if you use it for selfishness, you negate all the wisdom. Now, when you attain something through learning, it's faithful forms of relative communication. So it's past, present, future operate at the same time. And the whole thing, have you ever seen that Star Trek with Spock and Scott? You transport, which is irrational and unnecessary, and wouldn't be able to work properly. Well, because the molecular, you can't do it. You'd have to be in a contained environment, going to a contained environment. You wouldn't be able to do it in a non-contained environment to a contained environment to a non-contained environment because of the molecular structure reconfiguring, and the air and a fly and a rabbit and a hat and a bat and a 6'4" Impala and moving a pencil from place to place, and where'd it go, and it was delayed and then ends up in the person's body and they're looking for it. So you got to understand that that's just plain God with molecular manipulation is extremely wrong. Stem cell research is trying to play God by replicating the cells that are not being poisoned, and then oh, well, they saved my life. No, they didn't save your life. They poisoned you, and then they just detoxed you. They give you a polluted river, and then they ask for money and for you to go, oh, you're so great and powerful Oz, and then they clean out your river. That's all it's doing. That's all the medical industry does when it comes to cancer research. But what happens with cancer is it's not just the stress and the toxins. It's not just the toxins that kills you. It's the behaviors. If you're self-destructive, if you self-medicate, and a lot of it is wanting to die. It can be for selfish and unselfish reasons. It can be, I want to die because I can't manipulate everybody, or it can be, I want to die because this manipulation is not going to cease, and I believe in magic. And like I explained to my ex-wives about suicide, it's like, no, that's just a perpetual problem. That's a perpetual. It's trying to attempt to have a temporary solution to a perpetual problem. With molecular structures that that reconfigure through genetic sequencing, the soul is going to inherit it, is going to inherit a temple that's in the same hell. Okay. So his dad was over there listening to that song about a prisoner, and I was like, oh, okay, nobody is, no letters and stuff. Well, you're not going to get any letters because you're in a prison camp of people that you went to their part of the world to maintain status quo of tribal sexual violence, and they're not going to be nice to you. They're going to torture you. So that will discourage you from participating again in the future. Like Ron said about, I'm Chiricahua, I would take you out naked and stake you to, so your aggressive migration to kill me and my family off and start living where we've been living for hundreds of thousands of years, I'm going to try to detour. And people do that. And it doesn't work. It's not intelligent. It's not a good idea. Okay? It just makes people feel that they're justified in taking the Apache people because they took him and tied him to a thing and made him go blind and stuff, and taking them and killing them because they're so aggressive and abusive. Okay? So your reaction to their action determines the current state of being you're in, and what you basically invent your own conditions. That's why Cochise got very angry with when he did kill that, he was angry. And Goliath, David was not angry when he killed Goliath. Okay. But Goliath had yet to have raped and eunuched and killed any of the innocent. So David, when people kill the innocent, the reactions are radically different. When people come in, I want you to worship Jehovah, and then they come in and they start killing children and women to try to eradicate your seed. Then the reaction from the male becomes very, then you realize, okay, like Ron said, then I'd take you to an anthill and stake it, but you don't do that. My thing is, you torture, there's no intrinsic value in it. Saladin during the Holy Crusades, quickly dispatch of them. So their mom and women will feel that in spirit that we are merciful and that we do not torture people that come to turn us into their victims. We eradicate the disease. Okay. And now this is radically different. This is the first time in the history of the world that we have mass communications, that we have standard of male behavior, explaining to be or not to be, and that is a question on a daily basis, anonymously, at the epicenter of the threats of nuclear holocaust and violence through crypto, Bitcoin, and invention of money worldwide. Okay, so my life is radically different than other people's. Haile Selassie didn't have YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, and they didn't have, people didn't have, he didn't have instant access to them to see what they were doing and then explain to them in mathematical sequences their fallacies and what they were doing wrong. And they didn't have access to him to have him be able to connect to the little shit in Korea, the little shit in China, the little shit in Russia, the little shit in the Ukraine, the little shit in the White House, the little shit in Austin, the little shit, the one acting like a little shit because she thinks she has to in El Paso and in Santa Fe and all. Why do you have to act like a little shit? Because they can't tell people about you. They'll kill me. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? I just might have more control over the technology than they do. That's why they're having to, looks like we might have an war in Russia and things and stuff like that. I just might have more control over the technology than they do. They're just prolonging my torture and then making you guys think they're going to kill him. He's going to die from cancer and depression. He's not going to get up and recover because he's so sad because of what they do to Amy and how it affects her kids and how much I adore her kids. And even if the kids were conceived by men that were trying to compete with me and replace my sexual reproduction with theirs, like I haven't seen that before. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. I'm the line of King David. I'm the line of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. The Vatican took Jesus and tried to kill him and the women that produce, have sex with the women that produce him and replace him and kick him off the face of the planet, replace him with their egos. And they've been doing it for over 2,000 years now. And so, like, I haven't seen this before. Like, I haven't dealt with this before, being the merciless, right? So, this is what you're talking about. Really, ain't really nothing new. Okay, and the spirit that provides life to this temple will always be a reflection of the eternal light of the standard of manhood, which I also share with others. That's why I feel the way that I do about Judah Krishnamurti. Because, you love your brother and you love thy neighbor as thyself. That's the type of guy you want as a neighbor, and to have kids living next door to date and marry your kids, So when, you look at somebody and say, oh, they'd make an excellent in-law, then that's like the ultimate compliment you can pay a person to say, I would like my children to have children with his children, because I trust him to protect my grandchildren from any selfish abuse. That's an ultimate compliment, But the whole thing with Bruce Lee, what was that wall ever done to you? Except keep the rain and the snow off of you and Zeke and help, provide shelter when it's hot with the air conditioner. So don't hit the wall. Don't try to see if you're, don't do the whole M. Night Shyamalan with Bruce Willis, put 500 on. Don't do all that shit. When I need to do something, I get it done. If I don't need to do it, I have nothing to prove to these pervert scientists and their fucking whacked out jocks that know every time I get up in the morning and pick up my phone that they deserve their ass getting kicked, right? Just son of a buck. Here we go again, right? So, and here we go again. And so you guys have to understand, okay, that when people want to die, it's because of bad brain activity that seems it's never going to end, okay? And life being eternal and grace being infinite, they become hopeless and they are murdered by your selfishness. Okay, my mother, Justin, who else do we know recently that died from cancer, Shelby, Trisha, from diabetes and other things that just shuts the body down and just gets it, or the aneurysm with Peter Fabre, this kind of stuff. I feel trapped. It's never going to end and the body just stops. And that's a horrible place to be. And it's a horrible place to put people that want to be good people and want to live a good life. And Peter Fabre worked hard at wanting to be a good person and to be a good life. He paid lots of money and paid with his life and paid dearly with devotion and servitude to complete manipulative creeps trying to be a good man. Okay, and if that doesn't depress you and want you to stand up for the Lord's Prayer, nothing will. The Master Chief of the Sea Wolf, the man who got the reactor working so they could go back and threaten the Koreans with genocide if they didn't accept their Bitcoin, their crypto, and their fortune favors the brave, right? Fucking assholes, yeah. Fortune, huh? You know what? Fame and fortune. I want to be a dentist, right? And then they had that guy, Vargas in El Paso, having sex with the teenage girl and all the things they were engaging in. And they were like, and then he did this and abused her. I don't know, guys. I mean, he's sending her photos, sexually explicit photos and stuff like that. I think in some way the girl was getting some kind of benefit from it. He had money and stuff. He was buying her stuff and doing things for her. Well, 2 and 2 is 4, and I'm an excellent driver. Saying that, he brought her over there and gave her drugs and alcohol and then had sex with her. Now, if he's sending her explicit photos and stuff like that and to do this and stuff, so there's some kind, it's a business arrangement. More than that's working both ways. But you're going to have to understand these kids, when city girls just seem to find out early how to open doors with just a smile. Rich old man, she won't have to wear us to dress up all in lace and go in style. And then, if they get tired of it or if it gets abusive, they can always incarcerate the man if they have the right understanding of connections on how not to get killed by him trying to avoid being incarcerated. That's horrible. So forgive, dead, and trespass. Love one, turn off a full peace. Son of a bitch. You won't run into those problems. Because an old dentist, 67-year-old, won't be able to have, Jerome won't be able to be dowered to a 12-year-old if we eliminate the competition for sexual abuse through the manipulation of philanthropy. A dog can fucking figure it out. Zeke? Let's get out of here, Zeke. Okay, Ralph. You understand? Fuck. I couldn't imagine being as fucking stupid as a person getting money to do space shit at a UTEP. I can't imagine being as fucking stupid as you. Okay? I couldn't in my wildest dreams sit down and go, how fucking selfish and stupid can I possibly be? And then just try to keep fucking going. UTA. Hook 'em horns. Yeah, hook 'em. Taking a selfie on Bevo's gate? Shut up! Fuck! Who cares who wins the goddamn football game if you're all doing it for fuck money? Herbie wants to be a dentist. I thought he was doing it to people while they were in the chair. When I thought, oh man, that's horrible. These people have dental problems and go there for relief, like the little girl that worked with Dr. Laura, It's nice to be able to help ease people's pain and suffering through this abuse. And they come in and for 6 months, their teeth is killing them. And you can give them a little thing that makes numb. And then they wake up and then in 2 days it goes away. It makes me feel like I help make people's lives better. And I said, I totally understand. And then she was a sweetheart, and I met her. Beautiful little Mexicana, full-figured little Mexicana, married to a white guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, real sweetheart. Nice. I see why you could feel his spirit in her and feel it go through their kids. And so they need me. They need a eternal father-like girl, because not every man, me and Stephen talked about this when I was checking out at Walmart. I said, not every man, was the spirit of King David and has everybody's, with the intense abuse and psychological manipulation and immune systems and stuff. I have the chi going through my body for a reason, because I'm the spirit of King David, Moses, David, Jesus, John. So one man had to be the focal point of correcting all this egregious behavior, and he had to have the prayers of the abused that were faithful to his love that were being abused also to help him through it. And Jeff, they had Gladiator 2, and I tried to watch it on a free thing on Google, and no, you have to pay money to do it. But it's like it's supposed to be a free trial, and then I pay $7 but you have to show that you can pay the $7 afterwards. I'm writing this down in a trench, Mom. Don't scold. And Jeff's like, hey, don't panic, Jeff. I get it. I understand. We didn't start the fire. It was wrong. No, we did. So I get it. I understand. I understand, Jeff Bezos. I love you too, dog. I love you too. Don't start. That's Lopez? Okay. Don't start crying. It's Lopez. No, she ain't crying. You're crying. I'm just kidding. That's funny. No, it's just, I understand. I love you. Okay. Tell Lauren, hey, how's it going, Lauren? Okay, I love you. That whole thing with the Obamas, tell them yourself. It makes sense. Okay. It's entirely tangible. If Jeff is watching this, he could be in a room watching it with Lauren. It's Sanchez, not Sanchez. It irritates New Mexicans when people say Sanchez. It's Sanchez. Sanchez. That's how we say it in Espanol. Sanchez. Okay. Tell people, no, it's Sanchez. It's not to be mean. It's just helping people understand, show the people you care. Cuelica. Again, Cuelica. Tenochtitlan. Yeah. Mexico. Show the people you care. That you care about the way they say things, because it's I love you, I feed you. Right? Okay. So, and you can't assume that all, what assume does, Mrs. Grandma Sally is making an ass of you and me both. And for every, person that me and that one lady that was Italian that talked, she said, well, no, the Mormon said I was related to Tiberius. And I said, don't worry about it. I'm related to Ruth's line, and Ruth's line is related to Caiaphas and Herod. And in the book of Daniel, Herschel Steinschneider and Mildred Kramer it's like second or so cousins to a man named Adolf. Yeah, that's horrible. I know. It says in Daniel that his cousin Herschel Steinschneider, who was, lost and not understanding because of all the manipulation of the prayers and not believing them because they were made so unreal and so fantasy and so bullshit, that he doubted I did too. I never doubted Jesus. I just doubted the corporations that pretended to be like Jesus. And when all you have is Jesus and the corporations are trying to kill you so we can't live Jesus, it's a very lonely place to be. So you people that judge Herschel Steinschneider, that was a very horrible life. When you read Revelation, when I read Daniel and I was like, I was scared. I thought, that's going to be me and Barack Obama. We're going to be in trouble, right? And I got scared for Barack's life, and I got scared for mine too, because I was like, I don't want to be murdered. I don't want him murdered. I didn't want Malcolm murdered. I didn't want Martin murdered. I didn't want Jack and Bobby murdered. I didn't want Haley and Bob murdered. I didn't want Bobby murdered. I didn't want Fred Hampton murdered. I want Medgar Evers ever murdered. So you get like, God, this is horrible. When people get up to stop abuse and selfishness and try to be a better person than the abuse of selfishness, we all live a better life. You don't want to see those people get murdered. And so that's a horrible feeling, when you look at that and go, oh no, but you keep going. Well, Jesus, you're going to be successful, or, or die trying and going to die anyway. There's your incentive. Damn, he's just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Don't believe in the magic man who lives on the moon or in the sky or the clouds. We all live here. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. There'll be one child born to carry on. No more limericks for money, even though I do like the song. Yeah. No, my favorite song of theirs, I dig Sometimes in Winter. It's really sad. It's depressing, about a guy who loses the girl and he feels sad. But I think it's probably You Made Me So Very Happy. It's probably my favorite, I also like, they said, Lisa, listen, Lisa. That's a good one, too. Lisa, listen. These were tender words she had never heard before. He said, Lisa, listen to me. Don't you know where you belong? Listen, Lisa. That's a good one, too. Yeah, you've been lonely for too long. Ba-da-da-ba-ba. Anybody else like Blood, Sweat, and Tears? Okay. I do. Oh, don't kiss ass, Bezos. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's good stuff. I totally agree. Yeah. You too, Miss Sanchez? It's Sanchez. It's not Sanchez. It's Sanchez. Okay. That's how we say it in Espanol. Okay. Like Amarillo and Texas. Okay. El Paso, San Antonio. Okay. ¿Tú entiendes? She met him one night in Laredo. And, it's just the way we say certain words. And so it's interesting, but it's cool. Just learn how to say it. It's fun. So, or you can be my sister. How do you say dog in Spanish, Patrice? Oh, fuck you, Earl. There you go. Come on, say rejol. It's very important. No, fuck you, Earl. There we go. That's how you say rejol at a barbecue at our house. Patrice is there. Okay. She can't roll her R's. She has a speech impediment with that one. Yeah. So that would be hard if she was, apparently there's not a lot of Iberian Peninsula okay. But it's mom. Yeah, Granny Kramer. I've been tough. The girl can't roll her R's. So she can't say dog. Okay. It's cute, though. Yeah. But can you say San Antonio? Can you say Sierra Blanca? Can you say... No, she can't say Sierra. Okay, that's right. There's the R's there. What? How do you say it? Say it. Say it. Come on. No, don't say, oh, fuck you, Earl. No, stop it. Okay. Corey, check your mom. Oh, I love people. Yeah. Oh, I love life and I love the gift of life. I despise abuse and selfishness because it makes life miserable and it's a precious gift for us to love. We only live to learn to love. It's not learning to love. It's we live to understand that we were meant to love. Okay. You don't learn to love. It's a part of you when you're living right. So you forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Life's eternal grace is infinite. Share, care, given according to need, built to last. You don't need to learn to love. You need to be loved, and you need to understand, and you need to share love with gratitude and humility and intelligence. Haile Selassie 101, right? Okay, do you understand? So, come on already, seriously. Oh my gosh, you don't need money for sexual procreation. So get the hell off the fucking TV. And then when you lose cameras to, have the little camera crew at Silver with Ed talking about the kiddos, right? It's just for fun. That was fun. This was good exercise. Everybody came today. No one had to pay money to get into the building. We almost had standing room early, so we're going to have to possibly expand or build a bigger place for us to watch people play basketball here at what we call Western New Mexico University, because people don't have too much time on their hands. They have their time back from people that abuse their time with delusions of extortion, exploitation, delusions of human authority and grandeur. Yeah. So I hope everybody's traveling safe today. Well, today the Hilltoppers are going to Alpine, and the Rattlers are going to Silver. Okay. They're probably taking buses or something like that because as far as flying, especially from Silver, that's kind of tough. I'm not sure how, because it's a long drive. It's a long drive from Alpine to El Paso. It's a long drive when it's windy as hell. It's a long drive from Silver to El Paso. So you go El Paso, so you can go to Cruces. Yeah, I don't know if you go through Cruces. There's other ways to go through. If they went through Columbia, I don't know. I don't know how they drive. But yeah. That one with both of them, they'll be able to sit there and have Marty Robbins in their head. Out to the Badlands of New Mexico, right? So something is dreadfully wrong. Avoid Rose's Cantina and a girl named Felina. All you guys on the basketball team say, just you know what I'm saying to you. All you Hilltoppers and Rattlers, don't go to Rose's Cantina and run into that wicked Felina. Yeah, dashing and daring, and the new guy in town. Don't be the new guy in town that gets shot by her lover and then ends up, you know what I'm saying? Out to the Badlands of New Mexico. Yeah, that's a fight song. That's a rally song. Let's call it a fight song. The rally song for the Utah Miners. Let's just fix our linguistics. We're not fighting, we're exercising. So when we're exercising and we're behind, let's play the rally song. Rally, yeah, rally round the flag, rally round the red, gold, black, and green. Who's red, gold, black, and green? Red, gold, black, and green. There's not many college teams with those colors. Why not? Those are cool colors. I love you, all right? Peace out.